All right, here we are with the Molle rack installed, and I don't know if you can see it real well, but all I did was take the paracord, wrap it around the top of the seat, and then around the bottom of the seat as well, and it really worked out well. When the seat's back, it does vibrate just a little bit or move back and forth, but not really noticeable. I've got my first aid kit for my bag up on top here. Identified with just the simple red cross. Easy, I could tell somebody to grab it real quick. And what I do like about this bag is you have a snap and then it's velcroed off. So then it's off your back of the seat. You can take it where you need it. And then when you're done, you just simply put it back up and strap it on. Right next to it is a empty Molle bag. I haven't decided what I'm going to do with it yet. A carabiner with some hair bands, which make great rubber bands, but also my daughters have used them for just their hair, and my wife has used it for their hair as well. Down below, I've taken zip ties and just a flashlight pouch and a little single battery AAA flashlight. And then next to that, also zip tied in, is just a small neck knife that I just have for, no, it's just good to have a knife with you. Next to that is my air down kit. That's my tire deflators, a medicine bottle full of spare valve caps, valve stems, or valve stem cores, valve stem tool, and then tire pressure gauges, both a normal one with normal pressures, and then basically it's a four-wheeler one. It's a low pressure. It only goes up to 20 PSI. So when we're out on the trail, we can get an accurate reading down in the 8 and 10 pound range, which is what we usually run when we're on the trail. Then something else I've done with for Molle's and the Jeep is a buddy of mine gave me an old vest that he got at an Army surplus or a gun show, and it's military surplus, and didn't know what to do with it. So I cut the vest part off up here and then just ran the paracord through and around. You can see the paracord here, and simply tied it. And then I just got an admin pouch. I keep track of all my mileage in this, and then a spare set of safety glasses. We're out a Jeep trip and we needed to fix some parts underneath the Jeep, and it was just nice having glasses to keep the rocks from falling in our eyes. But that's what I'm using for Molle. The other half of this, because there's one on each side of the vest, I mounted to the top of the roll cage up here. And again, this one I just used some webbing that I had laying around and cinched it down tight. And just a couple carabiners. When we're on the trails, we'll put a ball cap or something up there. Extra spork for the drive-through in case they forget. Extra straw, ink pen. That's basically all I'm keeping up in this. But the other thing I've done recently is I've always carried a seatbelt knife up here, and I've always liked this up here, but this was being held in with zip ties, and I didn't like the way that was set up. I was afraid it was gonna break. It just looked kind of cruddy. When I moved my CB from right here to the back, I realized that I was able to clamp it to the roll cage with a pipe clamp or hose clamp, and so that's what I tried up here. I love the way that worked. Next time I have the top off, I'll probably paint it and clean it up some. But this is what it looks like back here as well. Now, before this upcoming trip that we got coming in June, I'll do something with the wiring and get this cleaned up, put a little sheath on it so it looks a little nicer. But this is the first time I've been in the back seat of the Jeep since I've moved the CB. It's usually not where I'm at in the vehicle. One other trip I did when I did the Rubicon, and this worked out really well for the trip. I don't have it set up now, but I'll kind of explain it. Is I took a ratchet strap around this back roll bar here, and then took it up to this, and just cinched it down pretty tight. And I think I took two of them, so I had a strap here and a strap here. And then I took the Molle pouches and hung them right here. And I had them on the passenger side. They were, at that time, the first aid kit, a medicine kit with our prescriptions, our aspirin, and things that we needed on a regular basis, and I believe the tire deflator kit, because I didn't have the seat back yet. And then on that trip, it was two of my daughters went with me. One sat in the front seat, one sat on the passenger back seat. So behind the driver was open up for just luggage, so having that there really wasn't in the way, but it was a nice way to store stuff. The problem we did have was it did kind of vibrate and move back and forth and bounce the top a little bit. But that's what I've got for Molle as of right now. I plan on adding more. In the next few months, I am getting new seats, and I don't know that I'll be able to use this Molle rack on the back of the seats. I'll have to look at it some when it gets here. But, gosh, you know, I think I spent $7 for the rack. I had the black spray paint in the garage. I had the paracord in the garage. Paracord's usually only a couple bucks for a few hundred feet of it. So really, for less than $10, I had a really nice, usable, functioning Molle rack. And the thing I like about it is it's sturdy. It doesn't move. It doesn't sag. And when you look at this one here, it's already sagging. And there's really never been anything in it other than that pouch. And it sags, and I just don't like the look of it. The one up here doesn't sag as much. It's again, applied a little differently. But with the one behind the seat, there's no sag. It's permanent. I'm able to put the flashlight, the knife, and zip tie things that are going to stay there permanently. The pouches anyway, so I can get what's in them out fairly easily. The downfall, the thing I don't like, is it comes in white. It only comes in white, and it's a very smooth rubber, so the paint doesn't stick to it real well. That said, this Molle pack has been in the back of the Jeep for, oh geez, 6, 8, 9 months, and there's just a little bit of paint peeling off here and here, and just in a couple spots down here. So really, it's held up quite nicely. But this is what I use for Molle. Have a blessed day.